Welcome to Iowa State and welcome to the College of Design. My name is Luis Rico-Gutierrez and I serve as Dean of the College. Welcome to day one of the 2025 Iowa Mayor's Design Workshop. This is the second iteration of an event that connects 6 mayors from across the state of Iowa with the talent of our faculty, extension specialists, and national experts to address pressing issues in our communities. Today we have 2 very special guests, 2 inspirational leaders in our state, and we have on one hand Mayor Tom Leners from Winterset and Mayor Doug Elrod from Bondurant. I'm going to ask you to introduce yourselves, and while you do that, to share with our audience what motivates you to serve your communities. You know, what was going through your minds the moment you decided, you know what, I'm going to put my name forth to serve in my town. So why don't we begin with you, Doug? You know, can you share a little bit of that experience and talk a little bit about your background?
Sure. I first moved to Bondurant in 2005. I had no intention of going into public service, I got to be honest with you. But a neighbor of mine who was on the city council at the time started talking to me about his level of involvement and where his vision of what the city needed to go to prepare for the future. Really kind of got me excited about it and got me interested. And it really became a situation of I could see that potential future for the community, and I wanted to be part of it. I wanted to help that community grow and just really be improve and be the best version of itself that it can be.
That's great. Tom, what about you?
Well, hi there, and I'm Tom Leners from the city of Winterset. I'm very pleased to be here. It was kind of a natural progression for me. I had been the county economic development person for 11, going on 12 years. I was ready to retire, able to retire, not quite wanting to completely disengage. And I had worked with the 2 previous mayors and city managers and that sort of thing, and kind of felt like I had maybe some really good specific knowledge about how certain things worked, and also had a desire to go ahead and continue to be of service to the community without getting too mushy. It had been very good. We moved into Winterset in 1983. My wife and I raised 3 kids there, went through the school system, felt like it'd be a great opportunity to give something back. So, the previous mayor recruited me to go ahead and run. It is a job that is low pay and high activity. Is that about right, Doug?
Yes, that's exactly right.
So it's a lot of days a month for $300 take home in Winterset. So it's and that's not the reason you should do any of these jobs like this, but it is a little bit of a reality check too. Is that very rewarding, and it's you get out of it what you put into it, like most other things in life.
The 2 of you talk about continuity. There was somebody before you that got you excited about doing this job and continuing that trajectory, that vision. So maybe I'll go back to you, Doug. You know, can you talk a little bit about what that vision was and what your contribution to that vision has been?
Yeah, for sure. So Bondurant is just on the outskirts of Des Moines, and it was largely a bedroom community, and in some respects it still is. So our folks would live and raise their family in town, but they would leave to go work elsewhere. They would go to a different city and spend their money buying groceries or any of the other things that are necessary. We have a highway that goes right through town. I think that there's a plenty of economic development opportunities right along that highway. And what my vision was when I first got involved with the city was to try to change the environment a little bit, get people to stick around town, really build the culture in town there, and provide more opportunities for the residents to spend and play right there locally. So as far as contribution, that's still a work in progress. There's always lots of work to be done on that front. But we've had a chance to really kind of take a look at where we're at today. We realize that we are poised and just in a position of growth, being so close to the metro area. We were experiencing really, really high growth, 93% during the last official census. And growing at that pace is really tough to keep up with, and being able to maintain the roads and provide all the city services that are necessary to be able to live in a community. So one of the priorities that I had was managing growth, and we've been able to do that and slow that growth down a little bit, as well as I really wanted to spend some time to get as many people in town together to help us with the ideas of how do we prepare for the future, where we can anticipate what is coming and we can prepare for it so there's not this huge transition or the roadblocks, the hurdles that you got to get over and the community feels when you're experiencing that kind of growth.
That's great. How about you, Tom?
Part of what I am working on right now is some things that have been put on the tracks. In my previous role as in economic development, I helped with the comprehensive planning process. We adopted that fully, and now we're doing our mileposts on that, doing our own self-reporting on things we've accomplished, things we're still working on. Much like Bondurant, Winterset has some infrastructure upgrades that are necessary. Previous mayor had started the new sewer plant process. I'm working on that now. We are a city, our city park just recognized its 150th anniversary. So if you can imagine aging infrastructure in a community with some age on it, we have all those problems. And yet we're a very beautiful place. We have a lot of stately homes. We have a lot of historic buildings on our intact town square, which is somewhat unique. And I believe there's 3 of us in Iowa that have an intact town square. And so we are working on modernizing some of the much needed utilities in town. Our electrical grid is a municipal product, and so they are nearly 100% underground. The city is, Winterset is not a part of the Central Iowa Water distribution, so we have our own water, and our nitrates have stayed low, so we're real proud of that. But there's also tending that takes on all those sorts of things, and these are all big operations that need input regularly to keep them working properly. And then just we're continuing to try to keep the square programmed because of all the festivals and that sort of thing. We want to attract people to our town, and we've had some success at that as well.
I've had the privilege of visiting Winterset, and yes, you have a beautiful, beautiful central area.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, it is.
What do you think, building on that, somebody paid attention to design in the past. So as a dean of a College of Design, I'm always curious, how do you see design being part of the future of the community? How do you see, what is the role of creativity and innovation, in the future of your community?
Well, I think we like our traditional styles, if you will, and I don't have the vocabulary to accurately describe it, but the gentleman that drew the plans for the courthouse, for instance, which is the centerpiece of the town square, designed, I believe it's the Illinois State Capitol, and I believe he had a hand in the Iowa State Capitol. So, I mean, this guy was very good. And so you'll see some of those things, style statements, if you will, and I'm not sure they were thinking about that in the 1860s, but or 1870s when they were designing that. But a lot of things are kind of classic. The square kind of built up around that, and a lot of the buildings that we have now on the historic register are in their 3rd iteration, maybe 4th iteration. The movie theater used to be a locker plant, I believe. I mean, there's just so many, a butcher shop, I guess, and so many of the old timers reused what they had. And I think that tradition lived on in Winterset. And so rather than raising things, they repaired them, loved on them, and kept them working. And so that's why we have the city square that we do now.
You know, you say that you don't have the vocabulary. That is the definition of resiliency. You know, this is a community that is proud of what they have, you know, and actually keep using what they have, you know, for uses in the future. So.
Well, Dean, I would say it was frugality too. I mean,
well, you know, but it's such a frugality. Is that it? You use what you have, but it's available to you. You
exactly.
Move it forward.
Well, there's a lot of lime used in the courthouse, if you noticed, and a lot of the lintels and some of the facades feature some limestone. So, I mean, that is probably Madison County's greatest product up until maybe 20 years ago. But we tended to focus on what we had, and we had some timber, which, you know, we still are a wooded county, is probably more than average. So we have tended to what we had and tended to respect what our predecessors had done.
So I'm going to move now to you, Doug. You know, you're in a community that is growing, but also there is a great sense of pride, you know, on what the history of the community, and particularly that relationship between the community and the industry of Iowa, agriculture, you know. So can you talk a little bit about, you know, what do you think the role of design is or can be to advance that pride into the future?
Yeah, 100%. So, I mean, just as in more of a general sense, when you're a growing community, you have a lot of, it's like a blank slate or an empty canvas. So you have the opportunity to fill it in. And either you can be intentional about it and proactive about filling that empty canvas in with what the community wants, or you can just let it happen to you and let it end up the way it's going to end up. And you know, those situations tend to create some consternation and hindsight learning rather than being on the forefront of it. As far as our tie to agriculture, yeah, that is one of our guiding principles in Bondurant. We have a very rich history and a connection with agriculture in our community. It was built around it. So we want to be intentional about that. We have an opportunity right now where the local co-op in town elected to move outside of town and build a new location. It was becoming very difficult for them in their minds to continue to bring the grain trucks in and just manage the operation and the fertilizing operations and everything like that go out to that. So it's 25 acres right in the heart of our community, and it happens to be directly adjacent to our existing downtown. So it really makes sense for us to repurpose that space and utilize it in a way that can grow our downtown and grow with us as the city itself grows. One of the challenges that we face is there's a number of concrete silos on that site that were part of the co-op, and it was a very large bill to tear them down and start brand new. So like Winterset, we looked at it from a couple of different angles and really had an opportunity to repurpose those silos to be used in the new design going forward. It allows us to maintain that connection with our ag history. It allows us to spend a little bit less money on building that site out. So this whole area is named the Grain District. There's an element in there that's going to provide a music amphitheater, and we're calling that Silo Commons. So there's a lot of connection intentionally to our agricultural roots, and really using that as the jumping off point to build some additional gathering space for our community and a place for festivals and things of that nature. So
I think there's a great deal of opportunity with that industrial heritage that you have in your community. But I think very interesting in your communities, you're a growing community. There's a great deal of youth. Your high schools are growing, your middle schools, your elementary schools are growing.
Yeah.
So what do you think is going to be the role of youth in the future of the community?
Oh, huge. So, yeah, I mean, our median age in town there of our resident is like 31.7 years old. So, a lot of young professionals, a lot of younger folks who are starting a family. So we regularly talk and plan together. We have joint projects together to maximize the tax dollars that each of us are collecting, and really just make the biggest bang for the buck that we can out of those projects. As far as the future of our community, as those families start aging and getting a little older, there's going to be more kids, which is going to again increase the population. We've spent a lot of time thinking about that and providing additional opportunities for our residents in the park space and the recreation offerings that we have in Bondurant. Offering festivals and specific programming designed around the youth and to increase that community engagement have been some things that we've done to take on to increase that participation level.
And, the nice thing about, having all this young population, across town is there's this metric of the amount of memories per square foot that you can actually store in a community. This is going to be kids that are going to grow up in the community, will have, all their best memories stored in those streets, in those spaces, and I think that's what is going to be the foundation, of a healthy community in the future. Just to finish, our conversation today, can you give me the highlights of day one? What you saw in the room, in this day. So, Tom, what do you think? What's the highlight for you?
Well, I think for communities like ours, we are on opposite ends of the compass around the Des Moines area. We're south and west. Bondurant is north and east. We all kind of battle the same things, and so that sharing solutions. And one thing that we try to do is learn from other folks because somebody's done this before. We have a number of projects going on now, and just to hear about how other people have managed the process and what resources they've learned. We've also had a great opportunity to learn about the resources that are available here through the technology and information transfer from Iowa State University, which is my alma mater. I'm very proud to come back and have an additional touch point here. And then just have some folks that I can call and say, well, how are you all doing this? Because that's an important part of the city manager's job and the mayor's job is to reach out and see, well, Bondurant did this, or Red Oak did that, or, some of the other towns that are here. And so we try and absorb that information and take it home and use it in our own home area. But I think just the idea that we don't have any unique problems and that we're all in the same battle.
Great. Doug, how about you?
Yeah, well, first things first, thank you for the opportunity for Bondurant to be included in this. We're very excited for that. And you're exactly right, Tom. I mean, I think that a lot of us share we all have our unique challenges and goals and success points, but we all share a kind of a common platform of somebody's been here before, right? One of the things that I've really enjoyed the most about this workshop is you got a think tank in the room, essentially, where we've got professors, we've got folks that work through the ISU Extension office that do this stuff every day and work with individual communities. So and we got mayors and representatives of the cities here that really it's a fantastic way of sharing knowledge, bouncing ideas off of each other, and really just kind of a green light brainstorm session that we can all think about, take back to our respective cities, and maybe have some new ideas that will benefit us.
This is exactly why I love my job. I love working at Iowa State University. I do believe that land-grant institutions are poised to be the engine of growth for the state and for the country. And I think this is a great way of demonstrating how we can serve the people of the state of Iowa. You know, we're trying to bring all these services to all of you, and I hope that after this, you'll participate also in the next phases of the Mayor's Workshop. After this, we are committed to bring students, to bring faculty, you know, to work with you for an extended period of time. And eventually, I think, you know, Extension, which I think is they're unsung heroes, you know, in many of the things that we actually do, you know, because they're members of the community that are there just to help you, whatever the vision is, whatever the idea that we come in these 2 days or in working with the students in the near future to find a way of making it happen, working with you. And following your leadership. So thank you for being here. Thanks for everybody for spending time with us in this podcast. And I'm excited to see what day 2 brings to all of us. Thank you.